Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We listen, guide, and connect small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs. Sharing knowledge is why I started the Telling It Like It Is. We are live. If you have any questions, ask away. If you're watching this after the fact on another social media channel, put your questions in there and we will respond to them. I would like to thank Community Now magazine for support. They engage, educate, inspire us to be stronger together. I am pumped about today's guest, Rob Bartko, the co-founder of FixIt Service Pros. Rob, how are you doing today?
Good. I really appreciate you having me on the show, and I'm looking forward to telling it like it is. So.
I know everyone says, "Why did you come up with that name?" I said, "I don't know. We just used to say that when we were kids, and that's kind of the way it is."
Right on.
I know. So I always love talking about how we met, and we didn't meet that long ago. I believe it was at a Rainforest Online event. I loved your story and what you guys were doing, and I reached out. We had a Zoom meeting like everybody else was doing for the last few months, and now we're going to be talking on the interview here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
was.
I think it. Yeah, as I was telling, actually, I did a networking event yesterday for through I can't remember now. That's bad, but it was talking about networking and the importance of networking for new immigrants to Canada, and it was great. I think there was probably 80 or 90 people on there, and it was a really good reminder to myself about the importance of networking.
Absolutely, and it's changed a lot too. Accounting background, going through the recruitment process, you're always going to the different events and getting in front of the partners. And now it's all online, and you're going into chat rooms, and you're looking at different names and who you're going to chat with. It's a different time to network, but still very, very important.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. What we'll do is I'll give a brief introduction about yourself and then we'll get after it. So Rob has created and operated several customer service businesses and has experience renovating homes and operating rental properties. His educational background is accounting, a Bachelor of Commerce from MacEwan University, and he has professional experience working at Deloitte in financial assurance. Currently, Rob is one of the founders of the FixIt Service Pros. FixIt is a Calgary startup, is changing the way homeowners and property managers complete service repairs in their own homes and manage the properties. So I used your service. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I just kind of want to touch a little bit here, on your evolution into becoming an entrepreneur. I mean, you started at Deloitte, and now you've launched FixIt Pro Services. You decided to do this during COVID. So how did you come up with this idea? Let's talk about some of the issues you had to overcome during COVID.
Well, it wasn't our intention to start a company during COVID. It happens, but we worked through it for sure. But I guess to start off, I was renovating my property with a good friend of mine, Cole Greco. We were turning the basement into a secondary suite. And I have some experience in contracting myself, basement renovations, framing, etc. So we were able to do a lot of the work ourselves. Some of the stuff, though, I didn't trust and needed a ticketed professional to do the work, the electrical, the ground plumbing, HVAC systems, etc. Stuff that you need someone who's doing it on a day-to-day basis to make sure it's safe and done properly, and also to pass code. But during that process, we had a difficult time finding the right contractors, vetting them, taking the time to make sure that they're doing it right. And some of the contractors that we actually used are still kind of they still are biting us. Doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth, I should say. So I was thinking, if myself, with the limited experience I've had, if I was having trouble finding the right ticketed professional, the right trade to do the job, a young professional or a new homeowner or a busy working professional who doesn't have the time to take care and do that due diligence, how are they finding contractors themselves? How are they doing it properly? So that was an idea that I was going around in my head for a couple of weeks and going back and forth. And my other co-founder, Sam Bedouin, excellent guy, probably the better half of the business as well. We were old university buddies, and we were catching up, and we like to shoot business ideas back off of one another. And so we met up for coffee one Monday morning. I think it was a nice 7 a.m., nice bright and early, which was great, but still fun. And he was just leaving, coming off a commercial construction job over in Revelstoke. So we met here in Edmonton, and I told him about my idea and told him how I wanted to connect homeowners more efficiently to vetted contractors. And he was going after an idea on how to better utilize contractors' administrative duties and how to grow and more grow their business more efficiently. So naturally, those two ideas kind of came together. And I was still working at Deloitte at the time, so we mulled over the ideas for a couple weeks and said, you know what, let's take some time one weekend. Let's go down to Calgary, rented out an Airbnb, and we sat down and we started to develop this idea and go over what we can do, how we can better bring this to market, and etc. A couple weeks later, or not a couple weeks, I think a month or so later, I quit my position at Deloitte. Sam and I went full time in it, and a year later, or almost a year later, I'm on your show. So it's been a ride, but it's been fun. A lot of ups and downs.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I remember the first time we talked, you're like, okay, we're good. Well, no, we're not good. We're going to have to delay it a little bit. And I mean, the joys of being an entrepreneur and launching a new business. Again, I'm talking to Rob Bartko, the co-founder of FixItServicePros.com. If you want to check out their website, it is in the comment section. So just click on the link there and it'll take you directly to their website. So why don't we talk a little bit about the business? So why don't you explain how it works?
So we've tried to make it as simple and straightforward as possible for homeowners. If you're busy and you want you have something that's wrong in your home, which can cause stress, you don't know how to fix it. A lot of people don't understand what's behind the walls, how it operates, how a house breathes, and it's very stressful time. So we thought if we could make the process of hiring a contractor and get that job done as straightforward, as simple as possible, the more peace of mind that individual is going to have throughout that process. So we've really broken it down into three main steps. The job description. So if you go on our website, you'd be able to pick a category that you wanted. So say plumbing, for example. Say you had a leaky faucet or you needed to switch out a faucet tap. You would describe the problem in as much detail as possible, answer any questions about if you had the proper materials, if you were unsure, etc. You'd be able to upload any photos or videos, one, to help us minimize the amount of time that contractors are on site, especially during our time right now. We want to minimize the amount of exposure and also allow them to be prepared when they're on site for the job. So you're able to upload photos and videos beforehand onto the work order. And the last thing is that you can indicate a date and time that works best with your schedule. Now that's huge, because a lot of the times when you're having service contractors come to your house, you have that huge window of, we can be there on August 13th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's a very huge window. And we are lucky right now. We're not lucky, but we are in a situation right now where most of us are at home and it doesn't really matter. But when stuff slowly starts to get back into normal and you need that window, you need to come home from work, you want to be able to ensure that you're not away from your job for as long as possible. So we've been able to indicate a certain time throughout that day that individual is going to come. Once you book the order through us, we send it out to our vetted contractors. From there, each contractor has the ability to take on that job or not. It is a first come, first serve basis right now. So if the contractor likes the job, they would pick up the work order. Once they claim that job, it's their responsibility to complete the job, discuss with you or any homeowner what needs to be done. And afterwards, FixIt deals with the billing and payment collection, etc. And they get paid on a per job basis. So we've broken it down to utilize on-demand labor within a gig economy to try and expedite and speed up the service work process.
And I can definitely vouch for that. It was, I'll explain my experience now. I mean, it was almost identical to what you said. I mean, we got home from vacation, or actually we just left vacation. We're trying to do our last load of laundry before we're heading to the lake. Our dryer broke, and I assumed it was the element, but as awful as I am as a handyman, I was like, I don't know. So anyways, we're gone. I come back and I was like, okay, now I got to get this fixed. And of course I was like, okay, let's go. I've got FixIt Service Pros. I'm using it. And so I did exactly what you said. I went on the website, put everything in. I mean, I took the photos of my, the serial number of my dryer, the front of my dryer, and, picked my date and, what I think it was like a Wednesday, 8 a.m. I was like, okay, great. I think it was a Thursday, but I was like, this is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. The gentleman showed up like basically right on time. He went there, opened it up. It was the element. He already had the element because I shared the serial number, model number, and everything. He actually vacuumed out the bottom of my dryer and did everything. And it was as smooth as possible. We had no issues. The dryer works. It's like it's brand new. And I can't speak highly enough of how the process worked. It was awesome. It met every single one of my expectations. I know we were kind of joking about it before. You're like, oh my goodness, Jade's using the thing and he's going to be interviewing me. What happens if it goes wrong? But no worries. It was perfect. And
that's great. Yeah. As a new business, you're always worried, especially at the start. It's a It's a learning process with the contractor, with the homeowner, property managers, etc. It's a learning process all the way up until we finally get to the point where it's more efficient and sustainable. So I'm really happy that it worked out for you. But I remember the job. It was a Friday, and the work order came in on a Wednesday. I'm going, okay, let's turn around. Our appliance repair is our newest category too, so that also came with its challenges, and I'm happy it worked out for you.
Well, that's good. And I didn't just to let our listeners know, I didn't phone you or text you or anything. I wanted it to sneak through so you couldn't give any special preference.
Yeah, no, I'm very hands-on right now, so I do see every work order that comes through. So,
so how about when you're hiring your contractors? How do you vet them? How do you find reliable ones? Do you use like the BBB or what's your process?
So right now we onboard contractors through various sources, marketplaces, Indeed, workplaces, Kijiji, etc. But our vetting process is pretty straightforward, and really we're trying to do the due diligence for you so that it gives you the peace of mind knowing that we've done the work for you. You're going to get the best guy on the job at a rate that is fair and within industry averages, which I can go into a little bit later as well. But on the vetting process, the first thing that we do is we make sure that everyone on our platform is insured up to $2 million of liability. FixIt does carry our own policy, but of course it has to go through the contractor when it's going through that work. So insurance is the number one. WCB is required if an individual has people working under them. If it's just themselves, we watch for it and make sure that it's safe. References are a huge one for us, just like any job interview or job placement. We want to ensure that they have a quality reference, either a past employer, a former client, etc., to make sure that the quality work that they say they do is also true. We also run everyone through a soft background check. So this is to ensure that no one's affiliated with any negative groups, gang members, etc., to ensure that homeowners are safe when a stranger is entering their home. That is a very crucial step for us as well. Part of actually this, I'll bring my mom into it for the idea process, but she's a single woman who's looking at having a contractor fix her sink. A lot of the time she was unsure about the quality and the safety of a contractor coming into her home. This is a new stranger from a reputable company, but it is a new person coming into her home. So how could we ensure that individual is safe in their home without doing the background check that are necessary? So that's how we implemented that, to make sure that homeowners are safe and they do have that peace of mind knowing that they have a quality contractor who is going to be safe in their home. That was part of the big vetting process there as well. And then I'm missing one other thing. Reference check, insurance, WCB, vetting. The review system. The review system is what I'm looking for. So when you have a new contractor on site, we're going through the process, and like you said, we send out the reviews to make sure that contractor did a good job. So when our web app is live in the fall of 2020, we'll be able to monitor, similar to Uber style ratings. If a contractor falls below a 4 or 5 star rating, we'll first meet with the person, ask them what's going on, why this is the case. But if this is a continuous problem, they ultimately will no longer be able to be on the platform. This ensures that our quality of work is always increasing, and that each contractor on our platform is a quality handyman, electrician, plumber, etc.
So I guess let's talk a little bit about the web app. Is it going to work? Obviously, are you going to try and drive more traffic to the app, or are you going to kind of do it through the website, or a combination of both? Is it going to be the same type of system?
It'll be an upgraded website that you see the way that you booked right now. The web app will just be larger on the back end, so you'll be able to log in, sign in, have a profile. You'll be able to keep records of your job history, have all the work order details. So for insurance purposes, you'll be able to say, no, I've done X, Y, Z on my home. Here are the records for it. You'll be able to see the messaging that you had between the contractors, to have a log of that information. For the homeowners, it allows you to, if there was a warranty, you'd be able to claim it in a more expedite or a more efficient process. And for the contractors, it's similar to what we're doing. It's similar to a Kijiji style, when you're going through the mobile app and you're scrolling through the tiles and looking for each whatever you're looking for. This would be similar to each work order. So a contractor would be able to go within their category, say handyman, for example, scroll through the available jobs, look at each job and say, no, I like this one, able to claim it on demand and be able to get that work order going efficiently. So when they're slower or when they want to pick up more work, they're able to pick it up at a more efficient way.
Well, that's interesting. I really do like that rating system too. I think that'll be important for getting real live feedback on how your contractors are working.
Well, the rating system also, I should mention, is a two-way review system as well. Similar to Uber, when you're the passenger and stuff goes wrong, it's not always the driver's fault. So we want to also give contractors the voice in saying, if this homeowner is being unrealistic with expectations, or they're not providing the proper information, they'll be rated poorly as well. And the more times that you're rated poorly, the less time that a contractor will want to be able to deal with you. So it's keeping accountability of both parties.
No, absolutely. I do like that. Again, I'm talking with Rob Bartko, the co-founder of FixIt Service Pros. Their website is in the comments section. Click on it. You can get some more information there. So now that you've launched and you're moving, I mean, it's a very competitive market out there. I guess you'd be kind of going head to head, even with maybe some of the people that you're actually hiring as a contractor when it comes to getting businesses. So how are you marketing it in Alberta or in the place, Calgary, Edmonton, etc. And how do you work with them to say, hey, we're here together to make this work?
So the marketing for us was, as you know, my background is finance, accounting, and so was Sam's. So marketing was an obstacle that we did have to overcome and really started to learn. So we've done, I mean, you can read all the books you want, do as much research as you want, but at the end of the day, it's ultimately how it works and how you're able to perform in the market. So we've tried everything from SEO, PPC ads, social display, billboards, etc. But one thing that's always stuck with us was an advisor of ours, actually Kevin Dahl at Platform Calgary. He said, if you're going to hire out a marketing director, but if you yourself as the founder don't understand the business, you don't understand how the customer works, you don't understand what makes them tick or what makes them ultimately want to use your product, how are you supposed to allow an individual who's outside of your company come in and ensure success? So that one really stuck with us, and Sam and I went back to the drawing board and we really broke down our messaging and figured out how our customers operate, where they look for the business, and how they go through that customer journey to get to your ultimate product. Now, that's not saying that you can't outsource any of the technical stuff, such as optimizing SEO or putting together proper ads base. So we have outsourced that, but at the end of the day, the messaging has to come from the two founders or the owners of the business who understand the customers. So that's our biggest thing. And from a numbers perspective, I always try and look at it as if you could buy a widget for $80, but if you got $100 return from that widget, it wouldn't be a question of, are you going to buy that widget again? It's going to be a question of how many times can you buy that widget within your budget. So take that for a PPC ad, for example. If you had to spend $80 on a pay-per-click ad and only got $70 in return, why are you continuously buying that why are you buying that ad? It's not going to work. You're not sustainable in that business. So for us, we took a step back, and as a new company, you want to look at the bigger picture. If I could onboard a customer who would give me one job, excellent. But if I could onboard a customer who would give me 10 jobs, that lifetime value of the customer is going to go through the roof, and my job acquisition cost is going to ultimately become zero. So if we take back and we go to the source, for us, for example, who is around residential construction the most? Realtors, property managers, condo boards, real estate investors, etc. So now instead of going after those outliers or those single-use customers, why would you not put more of your efforts into the larger source and going after the larger ones to increase that lifetime value of the customer and decrease that job acquisition cost? So that's kind of how I like to look at it, take the step back and really try and speed up that process and turning a sustainable and profitable business.
No, absolutely. I mean, in the end, there's going to be multiple chains of revenue that you're going to be bringing in, but that's a smart way to start it and go after the ones that will hopefully be that can give you more quickly. I mean, going after the individual people like myself or my neighbors or whoever it may be takes a lot more money, takes a lot more time, effort, and eventually you probably will get there. And as people start sharing it, as I will, and even when you guys launch the app and you mentioned guys like Kevin Dahl that are just so important, and all the people and all the advisors at Platform that share things and put things out there to get your name out there. And we touched on this before. The more that we can support the people that are already in our economy, already hiring people, already supporting, already giving back, it's only going to make us grow faster and grow stronger. So it's something that the support that we do get from some of those people are outstanding. And I know you did go through the Junction program, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a very big turning point for us. And And I was speaking on your first question. Actually, I forgot to mention the COVID challenges that we had to overcome. But when COVID first hit, we were in our second week at Platform Calgary's Junction program, and very unknown time for all the companies in there. We had a great cohort. Everyone was bonding. We had multiple different industries within it, and it was the first real experience that I felt as I'm a business owner, and we're together on this, and we're trying to make a difference. So that was a big change for me. But I can't speak highly enough of that Platform Calgary and how they're able to utilize and really change the mentality of young entrepreneurs and help them in the community. So anyone, I think that the fall's coming up too. So anyone who should apply ultimately should apply and hopefully get through, because excellent mentors there. And still to this day, I talk to Bilal whenever I can, and Kevin, etc. You see them throughout the group. So it was an absolutely outstanding experience.
Yeah, I mean, through Peer Guidance, we do some work, and they reference people to us once they're done and saying, hey, these guys are, they're honest, and they'll help you out. They'll make sure that they guide you in the right way. And I can't speak, Lee, and I think you are right. I think the deadline is tomorrow, but I might be wrong. I know I've put it out there a few times, but I can't say enough about what they do in the community. So for yourself, what's next for FixIt Service Pros?
Well, we throughout the last year, we've been in development for this web app that I've been talking about, and that's a journey on its own. Again, being a financial background, the technical side of it, the jargon, learning all this stuff is a completely new process, and you always hear about the lean startup of starting as lean as possible and then developing your product, which we were there and we were slowly growing, but we went overseas first, which didn't pan out the way we did. So we were able to hire a product manager with us, our director of technology, Chris Black, who has been absolutely outstanding with us. I can't speak highly enough of him. And he's been able to bring on 2 other developers internally for us, Mark and Jay, who have been absolutely excellent as well. So those 3 have taken over the final development phases of our web app, and that'll be live hopefully on September 20th of 2020. So that's the big thing that we're gearing up for and pushing for, and we're really, really looking forward to being able to put that into the market and seeing how that can perform.
No, awesome. I'm excited. I hope it comes out on the 20th. Even if it doesn't, it is what it is. It'll get out there. I'm sure it'll help your business and a few of us out there to give you the shout outs and promote it. But as I said, I can speak as a client, it was an excellent service. And if you can supply me an app that I can use, I'm even more happy.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
That's exactly. So I know we're, again, I'm talking with Rob Bartko, the co-founder of FixIt Service Pros. Website is in the comment section. Just click on it. We have one more question left, and it is the same question that I ask everybody, and this should be fresh in your mind because you're kind of still right there. So if you had one piece of advice for a small business startup or entrepreneur, Rob, what would that be?
I thought about this question quite a while over the last week on what I wanted to say, and being so new into this whole space, there's a lot of things. We've tried a lot of things that haven't worked, but there's a few things that I'd like to say on this one. The one is being mentally prepared just for a lot of ups and downs, because if it's your business, there is no guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks. If you screw up, and it affects everyone. So you got to be prepared mentally to get through those valleys. And when you are in those valleys of those downtimes, just make sure that you're able to say it's not everyone is there. So if you're mentally prepared to be in there, it's going to be easier to get out of them. And even talking to some of our advisors at Junction or at VMS, these very experienced, seasoned individuals, 13-year business operators, multi-time selling companies, they still go through a lot of ups and downs. So that's reassuring to know that it's not just you going through as a new business owner. It's everyone that's being able to get out of that valley. The second one is your team. There's no way I could get as far as we did without Sam, Tris, Jay, and Mark. They've been absolutely outstanding. So surround yourself with the best team as possible. And the last thing that I'd like to say is you're a hockey guy, so I'll use this analogy when you're trying to you're keeping it simple. And when I played hockey, if I was having a bad game, go back to the basic, get pucks in deep, keep it simple, put the pressure on, etc. So when you put that analogy and bring it back to business, when you're having a bad day, go back to the basics, think about what operates, how your customer's working, where's the money coming from. And if you let go of all those really cool new ideas, getting that AI algorithm going or the machine learning algorithm going, that's not ready yet. you're getting too far ahead of yourself. So just keep it as simple as possible and go back to the basics when you can.
No, I love that. And using the hockey analogy, I guess if I was having a bad game, I like to fight. So I mean, it's a little different.
I know more
I want to go
often
sit
than not, I
for
was
5 minutes and feel shame. But
yeah, you got
different, then you start thinking about what you're doing wrong and you reset. So the same type of thing, just different analogy.
absolutely.
But no, that's great advice. And having a team around you and the support is priceless. You can't, it doesn't matter what it is in business or family or sports, you need to have good people and strong people that you can trust around you. So I do love that. So thank you for sharing that knowledge with us. No, and I mean, and that is it. I mean, you knocked it out of the park here, Rob. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on today, sharing your story. FixIt Service Pros is outstanding. I've used them, and I think there's going to be great things for you and your team moving forward. So I'm excited to watch the growth of your company, and I mean, all the best to you.
I really appreciate you having me on, Jade. It's been excellent, and just even throughout the last few minutes, getting to know you better, it's been absolutely outstanding. So thank you very much for having us on the show, and for the shout out with FixIt Service Pros for sure. I really appreciate that.
You betcha. And to everybody, thanks for listening, and I hope you will tune in next week. So everybody have a great week, and thank you again, Rob. We'll chat soon.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.